Hi, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Jennifer Young, Marketing Manager at SoftSol. We're very excited to present to you today our latest service offering, STiC, SoftSol Testing in Cloud. A completely on-demand and pay-per-use solution, STiC allows you to share resources and tools, converting your CAPEX to OPEX, and dramatically improving testing efficiency. Today you will hear from SoftSol CEO Suresh Babu and Practice Lead Testing Services Suresh Kumar Mantha. With over 20 years of experience, Suresh Babu has been instrumental in building business, establishing a robust sales team, and continuously driving towards value creation. Suresh Kumar Mantha is responsible for managing testing practices at SoftSol. With extensive experience in test engineering spanning design and development, Mantha helps the company streamline and optimize test processes, improving testing efficiency. They will discuss the challenges in the market and pain points in traditional software testing, explain what STiC is all about and how it's different from similar solutions, and will show you a short demo. At the end of the presentation, we will leave 10 minutes to answer your questions. Please feel free to type your questions into the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen at any time during the presentation, and we will answer them at the end. So now I'd like to introduce Suresh Babu, CEO at SoftSol.
Thanks, Jennifer. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We really appreciate you joining this webinar. We hope that we'll make this meeting worthwhile for you. We've got about 60 minutes for this discussion to talk about our new exciting offering called STiC, which stands for SoftSol Testing in Cloud. So here is the agenda we have for our discussion today. We will start off with talking about challenges in the enterprise testing as we see it from our close to 2 decades of experience. Then we will have a very brief introduction into testing services portfolio of what we offer at SoftSol, and then we will also talk about the STiC services overview. But bulk of the time we will invest today to show you a demo of our services. You will start appreciating why this is so unique, why we are excited, and why you would be excited about the services. Which obviously offer something which we have not seen so far in the testing world today. After the demo, we'll come back and talk about delivery framework, and we'll finally wrap it up with a quick corporate overview of SoftSol. So that's what we have for today. As Jennifer mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to post it in the chat. We will answer it as we go along. So to begin, any enterprise, whether it is IT or private company, which produces applications or products and which needs to be tested in order to make it, in order to meet its objective, undergoes few challenges. I've listed down some of the few common challenges. For example, if you take an enterprise IT, there is an IT stack with multiple applications. And you have multiple applications with multiple technology, which obviously throws in test engineering challenges, including designing challenges. And what is optimum, what is most beneficial, is beneficial for one technology, it might not be for others. So how do you optimize that? And once you have used certain tools, which you obviously do for you to do very robust testing, when you use the tool, these tools get tightly coupled with the tool technology as well as the IT technology, giving rise to standardization and unification issues. And as all of the customers will have it, we have seen it over 17 years of our experience in doing testing. You keep generating testing assets. It could be automation scripts, it could be test data, it could be any of those assets you create. How will you use those assets, into your environment? And finally, testing ROI is always a little bit of a questionable aspects of the overall functioning of IT or the product engineering, which is that are you testing too little or too much, and what is the ROI in testing? So all these questions you keep raising, and sometimes it may be tough to find answers. We thought we will offer the answers to all these questions in one go, and that is why we designed the services. So just a bit of a background. When we kept on doing testing services, we figured out how good it will be if you have to offer the services to customers. There came the STiC services, which is SoftSol Testing in Cloud. Next slide, please. So before we jump into STiC, here is our testing services portfolio. We provide testing services. It could be functional, non-functional, or it could be even specialized testing. We provide both manual and automation testing services. We have been doing this over years across multiple industries and across multiple engagements. We are known to be experts in test automation, whether it is approach, tools, frameworks, whatever it could be, and we also do test process consulting. Here are the intellectual properties. Sorry for the acronyms there. All of these are the tools we have developed over years. Multiple years of R&D have gone into it. We will explain some of them to you today as a part of STiC offering. But we are proud of the intellectual properties we have created so that this can be done better. It's all about delivering value to our customers. So we always tend to do things better, cheaper, faster, whatever efficiency we could provide. And finally, we provide now the STiC services, which is our newest offering, and we're glad to be presenting that to you today. We have several engagement models. It could be, it could be a utility, it could be a standard dedicated model. It could be a factory model. It could be on-demand model, outcome model. All of this we offer today. So let's jump straight into STiC and what does the STiC offers to you from here on. Next slide, please. Okay, so here is what STiC offers, and I'll give you a good introduction into what the service is all about. So let's begin with talking about manual and automation testing, which is unique services. So what we did today is that instead of having dedicated amount of skills available for you to do testing, we could then do this on demand. That means that you could do pay-per-use. And then we will offer the skills to you, which is high-end skills in doing testing, appropriate in doing testing on pay-per-use. That means that you can use it whenever you want it, how much you want it, however you want it, and pay for what you want to use, which is utility-based services, which is what we offer the skill, which is industry knows it as testing as a service or a shared model, but we offer today that on demand and pay-per-use. So then we figure out that once we have got past that thing about I'm able to use these services on demand, and generally you want to use a test tool and house it in an environment for you to do comprehensive and efficient testing. And these tools are very expensive, and then you also need to have an environment to do that, giving ways to a lot of CAPEX dollars. So we thought, why not we convert this capital expenditure into operating expenditure? So convert CAPEX to OPEX. So along with pay-per-use skills, we today offer pay-per-use tools and environment. So this is a significant change with the services. So when you use STiC services, the tools and environment come standard along with it as pay-per-use, as a service. So you don't have to do any more CAPEX. You don't have to worry whether you have the right tool or not. You don't have to worry about how much it's going to cost you, how to maintain it, and what environment to house it. It will all come as a standard with that. So, just to summarize, so we provide pay-per-use skills and pay-per-use test tool and environment. Now we realize that we have made a significant change to our services by offering this to you, and you must already be excited hearing that. But the moment we said that we will bring in the tool, we then saw a window of opportunity to provide you something which you're not probably hearing it for the first time or not seen it before, which is that improved test efficiency through an integrated tool set. So our tool set, which is integrated with many, many tools, offer you a lot of efficiency lever. So let me talk a few of them to you today. Let's start with on-demand tools for requirement capture. So before you embark on testing, you could do what's called a test authoring or test optimization. So what does this mean? Generally, these 80-20 rules are somewhat common in our life and in our work too, which is 20% of your tests might cover 80% of the functionality, and the rest 80% of the tests covers 20%. So if that is the case, can you economize on this 20% test and optimize your test cases to just to the 20%? So we do have an authoring mechanism where you could do this. And if you do it manually yourself, it could be risk-prone or error-prone. So we do it through a tool. So through a tool we have, so we'll be able to do authoring of your testing even before you start it, giving you rise to some efficiency improvement. So I spoke about one efficiency improvement. Let me talk about one thing more, which you're very, very interested about, which is that this is called task automation or scripting on the fly, which is that whenever you do the testing, you test it once manually, and then you might want to do it again, whether regression or whatever the case may be, and you tend to automate it. When you're automating it, you take automation as a separate effort. And so you do one manual testing, take automation as a separate effort, create some asset, and start doing automation testing for your regressions. But this method of doing it is a TaaS. So this is STiC. So you could do a lot more stuff today, with what we call a scripting on the fly, which means that as you do manual testing, you can write script behind it. And then once you are done with your manual testing, you are 85% ready with your automation scripts. So what we do by leveraging one of our products called Buckfast, which we put in years of R&D into it, so you could do scripting on the fly. So this works very well for web applications. Some of the package application, it needs a little bit of a workaround, but however, it does work well for your custom applications. So it is scripting on the fly. So I spoke about two of them, which is doing test authoring, doing scripting on the fly. So likewise, there are many of them. It could be test data generation, where the testers do not have to spend too much time generating test data, and you could generate in the fly. Or it could be dependency mapping. It could be traceability index. So all of them provide you efficiency levers. So if you kind of summarize again, we offer pay-per-use skills, we offer pay-per-use tools and environment, and we provide efficiency levers in testing. It could be test authoring, it could be scripting on the fly, it could be test data generation, it could be dependency mapping, so on and so forth. Finally, to wrap it up all, we said it is very essential for enterprises like you to do a metric-based testing. So golden rule, what can't be measured can't be improved. So can you look for a measurement in testing even before you start it? So can you do a metric-based testing? So we put in an enterprise dashboard along with all our tool set, which helps you track, what is my defect density, what is my defect ratio, what is my, defect removal ratio, what's my first time right, and how am I doing this testing compared to others, what is the use of my asset, so on and so forth. All this can be done through enterprise dashboard, and this all completes the STiC offering, which are offered through the cloud. We all this access is done to the cloud, so this is why we refer to the testing services in the cloud. So to summarize, it is pay-per-use skills, it's pay-per-use environment and tool, and it's got sufficient efficiency levers, and it also got enterprise dashboard. So this is the overview of STiC. So I just want to quickly show you an environmental test of the STiC before we jump into a demo. So here is the offerings. We cut across enterprise, we cut across vertical industry, we cut across technology. It could be a custom build application, it could be a package application, it could be any of them. It could be functional and non-functional testing, and it provides test processes, some requirement analysis to test metrics. So let's now look at what is the story behind this and how is this environment done. So at the minimum, we have a portal, and both you and us, which is customer and our testing team, enter through this portal, and through this portal, we will access the tools and solutions, our tool suite and our frameworks, all our IP hosted in the cloud, and we liberate that, and through a private cloud we set up, we will access your application. And so the testers will come to the cloud, access your application, and leverage the tools we have set up in the cloud and do the testing. And there's a metering happening because it's a pay-per-use. It always gets metered what is being used. So let us look at a demo environment for today. So for today, what we thought is that we will show you an application in the test, and we have created an instance of a package application. We decided that to be a CRM application, a sugar CRM, virtual instance we have created in the cloud, and then we will first access this application through the cloud from our center, and we'll leverage the toolkit and the environment we have in the cloud. We will choose the tools, we'll choose the environment, and then create an access to the cloud and start doing the testing. So here is the test process we want to show you today. So we will start the process by launching the client. We will show a client launch access to the cloud. Then we will show you on this CRM. Let's take one functionality, which is opportunity creation, and we will go and gather the requirement. And when we gather the requirement, and we'll figure out how many test cases it is, and that happens to be about 2.3 million test cases, and we'll show you how do we gather this requirement. And once we have done it, we will run our optimization tool, and to tell you how well you can optimize these test cases. So in this particular case, the 2.2 million test cases can be optimized to 152 test cases without sacrificing too much on the test coverage, with two-way commit. And we'll show that to you and we'll explain to you how. And once you have done that, we'll also show you before you launch a test, you need test data. We'll show you rapid creation of test data through our test data generation tool. And once that's done, so we will take all this thing and take it to our execution framework, our test management tool, testing tool, test management suite, and that execution framework, and we will launch the test. And we'll show you the result, and then we will post the result, and you can also post it into other environments. We'll show you how, and finally we will show you a view of our enterprise dashboard. So which is what we will do to you, do this now. We'll run the demo. Hopefully you'll enjoy this demo. So let's move to the demo. Let's show you our portal and how this all happens through this. So before I hand it over to Manta, remind you again that if you have any questions, please ask on the chat. Send it to the WebEx admin, send it to Jennifer. Sure, we'll be able to answer them at the end. Manta, over to you. I'm going to show you a couple of ways how I'll be, accessing the portal. I'm going to wear a couple of hats today. One as a client, another as a tenant. As a client, it is someone who is accessing availing STiC services, and I'm wearing the client hat now. Let me log in as a client and show you how the entire portal someone who is accessing the services will have access to. So at the very beginning, now I just want to define my testing services. Then I have an option of selecting the type of application which I want to select for testing, be it packaged applications, that is ERPs, and web application or legacy applications. To start with, let's select an web application, and in the web application, I have an option of selecting the operating system on which I want my tests to run upon, and the browser. I can select the browser on which I want to run my do my testing, be it manual or test automation. Then once I'm done with selecting the environment of my choice, then according to the type of industry, we'll be able to select the industry type. Now let's say we are going with the financial services, and once I'm done with that, we have option of selecting whatever I want, what are the services I want to get done with. So I can, if at all my requirements are already written, that's fine. If not, I prefer to get the requirements written, and I also prefer to get the test cases written as well. If they're already written, that's fine. We'll go with the test execution. We also have option of executing them using a manual test execution method or test automation. Okay, let me select these things here. Once I'm done with this, let me say that my application is fairly complex, sufficiently complex, and let me select 8 for this. And I want a team size of close to 5 people testing my application, and I want the application to be tested in let's say 3 months. Once I'm done with that, I have option of selecting what are the tools which I want to use. My application is being tested. What are the tools I want to use as a part of STiC offering? Let's say I already do have a test management solution. That's fine. But if I do not have, I would prefer to select one test management tool, and I want to optimize my requirements and test cases, and hence I would select a design tool to do optimization and all. And I want the test data to be generated, and I would want to use test data tool as well. And that being a manual test execution, that being a test automation which I have selected, the test execution framework is already there, and I want the results to be published just like the way they are published here. And I want to
have a bug tracking tool as well. Let's say I already have a bug tracking tool with me, then probably I'll not be selecting this, but for the sake of demo, let's select this as well. And finally, we'll have a quality dashboard. I want all the results which are being tracked right from test design, from capturing requirements, executing test cases, posting the bugs, and viewing the results and all. I want all the metrics to be tracked, and I want them to have in the dashboard. I'll select on them, and once I submit this, my request is processed, and once this is done, I also have an option of selecting when to run these test scripts. And let's say I want to run my test scripts from let's say today to next month, close to 20 to 30 days. And what I'm telling is, you see, this, for my application for CRM, and I have a build 1, and for the same application, CRM application, for build 1, I have a release 1, and I want to run a smoke regression, and that's CRM application, and opportunity creation is the module which I want to run the scripts for. Okay, once my request is successfully submitted, the testing process is done in the background, and once the testing process is done, results are published back into the results viewer area. So these are the quick results which you get. We have executed 12 of them, 11 of them have passed, 1 of them have failed, and these are the detailed steps for all the test scripts which we are executing in the cloud. And let's say we have one failed case. We are specifically mentioning where at what step your test case has failed, and we are also taking the screenshot of it. And let's say I want to run one more smoke test, just 4 of them. We run them, all of them passed, nothing has failed. So this is how we publish the test results at the end of test execution for every build, for every release, and every cycle on demand. Once this is done, and you want to understand what's happening in the background for all the key stakeholders, we provide multiple metrics, and for now we are providing close to 21 different metrics, and we want to understand what is happening at what in every release. Then you're free to go and pick and choose the release you want. You can pick and choose the metrics for the application you want, for different projects or modules you want. So what are the few metrics we are covering? Now, let's say we have classified metrics in 4 different areas during the test design, test execution, quality, planning, and tracking. And let's say you want to understand how your requirements, how stable your requirements are. There is a computation logic behind, and the data is being pulled from multiple different tools in the background which we have selected, and it is pushed into this tool. And let's say there is a requirement, and those requirements these are the planned requirements, and few of them are changed, and there is some review happening to those requirements, and they are changed, and even that is also tracked, and we call it requirement ambiguity testing. So even that metric can also be tracked. Apart from that, you want to understand how your test cases are distributed according to your module. So here are your test cases which are distributed, and you want to understand how your test cases are distributed according to the priority for release. So for every release, let's say you have multiple modules, and you want to select only few test cases from a specific module and make a mix of those test cases or test scripts and test them for a specific release. So this is how you can track that as well. And you can also track test case authoring effectiveness, test case authoring productivity, and this is all during test design phase. Once we are done with test design, coming to test execution, we also can track test execution productivity. How many defects are rejected? What is its percentage? How many defects were accepted? What is its percentage? And how many defects were detected? So apart from that, we also have a few more metrics which we are tracking, that is defect slipping percentage. Now let's say you have planned a release for 1 month, and during this month your defect slippage percentage is high for a specific week. Then you immediately go to this, see this, and contact relevant tech lead or someone and ask them to fix them and make sure that this is coming down. And we can also track test effectiveness, and you can also see and understand how your defect severity index is. And this is the best part of it. You want to understand how your defects are aging, how many defects are there in a specific module, and how they are placed with respect to time. And we also have mix and match of defect distribution by severity, priority, build, and all. And we also track a lot of effort-based metrics. We track effort variance, we track schedule variance, we track test case authoring status, test case execution status, and lots more. So this is a quick area how you get all the metrics tracked. So what is the best advantage of it is now we get a release target for quality and release compliance. Based on that, you can come back and monitor your process and test metrics at every stage, and keep an eye on your healthy test releases. So this is how I'll be managing all my test metrics. So let me change my hat now. Let me show you how I'll run all the things in the background. So I'm logging in as a typical tenant, a test engineer who does the whole job in the cloud. So once we log in, we'll try to launch a client. So this being a time-taking process, which take some time in the best interest of time, I already have launched the client, which we have. Okay. So this is the client machine. This is a pre-configured machine where we can run our test execution. And coming back to the presentation, I just have launched the client. And let me show you how I manage my requirements and test cases. So this is my requirements and test case management solutions. And this is the area where I manage all my requirements. And let's say I already have requirements managing in a different tool. I can, or let's say I'm managing all my requirements in a Word document. I can import them into this specific tool and use them. All requirements, each of those requirements will have a specific test case mapped back to it. And for all those requirements, we have test cases written, and we have a choice of running them using manual test execution or test automation. So we have, for every requirement, we have a test case map, and for each of the test case, we have few steps or actions that need to be done and expect the results. And as I was telling, we can run them either using a manual test execution or test automation. Coming back to the PPT. So I just have shown you how I have launched the client and how I'll be managing requirements and test cases. And let me show you a case where I'll optimize the test cases. A business case wherein I'll show you how I'll optimize the test cases and run it in my cloud. So this is my client demo application or application under test. And let me log in as a typical user for this application. Once I log in, I'm navigating to opportunity creating area, and let me try creating an opportunity here. So if you look at it, creating an opportunity here in this application looks very simple on the top. All that I need to do is select one value from here, enter the opportunity name, and let's say the opportunity amount is $5,000, and I can select one of the multiple currencies. And the sales stage is, let's say it's in proposal price quote, and probability of this is 80%. And So I'm going to create a new opportunity. So expected end date for this opportunity is, let's say, 27th of this month, and it's a new business, and the lead source is direct mail. And we will select a campaign. Now let's say that's cloud services, and I'll save it. So this is a typical scenario which we find in generally most of the web applications. It looks pretty simple on top, but once we look at it and understand it carefully, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of inputs for each of these values. This has there could be multiple leads, and okay, let me show you in the. You are able to see the spreadsheet now. So for creating an opportunity, I could possibly select from one of these currencies, one of these amounts, one of these sales stages. There is a great functional flow between each of these sales stages and each of these business types and each of these lead campaigns and lead sources. There is a different functional flow integration happening in the background. That's the business logic. And if at all I was supposed to do 100% text coverage, it would be impossible, close to near to impossible. Then what I did is I took this input model and I fed it into my test design tool. So what my test design tool says is, it takes 2.3, close to 2.3 million test cases to completely do 100% test coverage. As you all know, we cannot afford to do a complete comprehensive test coverage. So we smartly use our test optimizer tool, and once we feed the input model to our tool, it optimizes it into from close to 2.3 million test cases to just 152 of them. So this is a two-way interaction. Why are we going with this kind of optimization? Software generally individually behaves fine with its own module, but when we start integrating this module, when we start integrating these functionalities, then there are a lot of issues that come up. And my test design tool also says that if at all you are testing these 2.3 million test cases and you are getting $100, it is highly likely that you test just with these 152 combinations and you get close to $80. So, and if 80% test coverage, if I'm happy with that, that's fine. If I think I want to go for a better test coverage, then I'll go for a three-way test coverage. And in the three-way test coverage, my test design tool says, you know what, you have to execute few more test combinations to make sure that you want to, if at all you want to go for a 90% test coverage. So this is the output from my test design tool. What I do is I'll take this output and feed it into my test execution tool. Okay, let me show you how I'll execute the scenario in the okay. Cloud. So this is the tool which I am using. Okay, let me show you the scenario. Let's say I want to log into the application and create a couple of opportunities. And create a document and log out. So this is the test execution sequence, and I have a choice of selecting the test scripts which I want to run or not. And the test data for this is being stored here. Let's go to creating an opportunity area. So if you remember the output from my test design tool, I have picked the output from my test design tool and placed it here. So when we run the script, what it takes is it takes data from this specific row, create one opportunity, and close this off. Now it should take Q3. Okay, let me show you how it does. Executes that. So the functional test execution tool which I'm using here is Selenium. It's an open source tool. So what it does is it launches the client, it launches the browser, navigates to the URL, logs into the application, and navigates to opportunity creating page. We deliberately, in fact, Selenium works much faster than this. We deliberately made the application to run a bit slower, such as to make it in sync with the webinar session. So there will be some time lag. So that's why we deliberately made it a bit slower. So now it has navigated to opportunity creation page. It's creating an opportunity. Seeing the dollar amount in dollar, it saved it. Once it is done, it tries to upload a document. It's done and logs out of the application, and it's searching for it, and it launches the result as well. So this is now, as I was showing you earlier, this is the result of the test execution request which I have got, and I got a request to execute the smoke test, and I have selected the smoke test script, and I have executed 4 of them. All of them passed, none of them have failed. So these are the detailed steps. It has picked data from first row. This is how we execute it in the cloud. So I just have, coming back to the presentation, I just have shown you how we launch a client, manage the requirements, optimize the cases, and execute them and view the results. Let me also show you how we post the bugs and metrics, and come back to test data management. As I was telling, we publish the results here in the portal, where you can go to each of them clearly, and this helps for audit trail as well. And we post bugs in our a different tool. And let's say we want to post the defects here. We come here, we report a new defect, enter all the details, and that's it. So it takes all the details back into the defect management system. Once that is done, we'll pull all the data in the backend into our metrics dashboard, which I was showing you earlier. So this is where we manage all the metrics and all. So I have shown you how we post the bugs and view the metrics as well. And let me show you quickly how we manage the test data. Okay. Let me go to my test data management solution. Every time we have a lot of options, and it is highly required to generate a lot of test data during test execution, and the test data becomes stale, and we can quickly select whatever we want. If at all I want to add a few passwords, if at all I want to add, let's say, a timestamp, I can select that as well. And I want to add a custom string generator. I want all the strings to be starting with an prefix, and so what does this does is it helps you generate any kind of data of choice. I just want to generate 100 of them, and I want to export it in a spreadsheet format. Okay. Once I do that, it generates all the test data I want to ever create on the fly. So I got it. So the capability of this test data generator is it can generate close to 1 million records on the fly, and it's all up to your choice as to which type of data you want to select. Apart from this, we also generate something called quantified string generator, and what it does is it creates some data with a specified string, and let's say I want to test this specific aspect of it. it's taking only 10 characters. So there is a strange encoding behind it, which tells us how many characters it is taking. And it's taking all the 200. It's taking just 100 of them. So it makes the life of the test engineer who is testing a typical web application very happy. We also have something called fault buzzer. We have option of selecting type of field and range and number of data sets. And what it does is it generates both positive and negative data. It generates minimum plus 1, max plus 1, the positive data, and it also generates negative data as well. So this is one aspect of it. And we also have something called template-based file generator. What it does is, now, as I was telling you, we manage the test data in our test execution tool in this format. And let's say there is a data dependency between these spreadsheets, and I have to go to each of these spreadsheets and update it. Instead of that, we manage the whole thing in our master test data file. And let's say I want to change something here.
So very well done, Mantha. So, very well done. Very well done. Can you get back to the slide?
Yeah. So so that's how we manage the test data for every test execution as well. So this is a quick demo. There are a lot of other features like scripting on the fly, dependency mapping, and a lot more, which reduces your effort and increases the test efficiency. Over to you, Suresh. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Mantha. So very well done. Thank you. So hope you got a good view of what this service is all about. So he did show a client login as to how you as a client can come and manage it. Then he went behind the scene, it's kind of an action replay, and showed how we do it in our test center, go through this entire process. So let's quickly move to the delivery phases. We deliver this in 4 phases. A define phase where we define what needs to be tested, and then we build out the environment for testing your particular application or applications or products, and then we can operate it as many times as needed, and we can keep measuring it continuously. So this is the 4 phases of development we have for this particular service. I want to quickly show you how this is priced. Based on the application type, the environment we choose, and the app industry we choose, like what Mantha was showing you in the client login, and deliverables you expect out of this, and complexity and team size and duration you select, and the toolkit you select, whether you just want simple execution or you want all the efficiency levers and all those things. It throws up $1 per month as to how much going to be tested. So it kind of concludes our thing on our presentation on STiC. Quickly moving to the value proposition to reiterate what we were talking so far and demonstrate it to you. So this is the SoftSol Testing in Cloud, short form STiC, offers you on-demand testing for both manual and automation. It also provides you on-demand tools and environment. It comes with many efficiency levers such as test authoring, scripting on the fly, automated test data generation, so on and so forth. And finally, it also provides an interface dashboard, and that's what our STiC offers. So before we conclude today's presentation with Q&A, let me quickly talk about the company. In the meantime, we do have several questions on the chat. If you have questions, please feel free to raise the chat on the chat window. We as a company have been in the business for 17 years. We are headquartered here in California, US, with operations in Europe and Frankfurt, and our delivery centers in India in 2 places in the state of Andhra Pradesh, in Hyderabad and Vizag, and operating also in Bangalore. Right from our inception, we have been designing, developing, and deploying, managing end-to-end projects. We have been, we have been providing end-to-end business solutions to customers, and we work across industry. Quickly, to go to some of our esteemed customers across industry, we have many customers in the public sector, which form a little higher portion of our business. Next slide, please. And we also have customers in other areas For example, high-tech industry, we have a customer like Cisco, life sciences, customer like Genentech, and in media, a customer like HBO. Those are the customers whom we have done work with. In the both state and local and federal, there are several customers we have done work for, and we have other industries as well, like an Agri or APR. Those are some of the customers we have we've been fortunate enough to serve them. Quick, slide and accolade. Our customers feel about our services. We pride of doing execution excellence. We always have delivered what we committed to the customer. That's our claim to fame, and we're happy to show this thing. For example, look at what Gene did here, what CalPEX did. This is a 45-man-year project, and we did it successfully. So with that, we come to the end of this presentation. We thank you very much for your participation. Hope you found it worthwhile. If you have any questions, please ask in the chat. Jennifer, whatever questions you have in the chat, we're going to ask that, and we can answer them as many as we can today in this call.
Sure, yeah. So thanks, Suresh. Again, feel free to type in your questions in the chat box on the right side at any time, and we'll try to answer as many as possible. Okay, so the first question I have says, it looks like you use a lot of tools in here. How will I be charged?
Okay, let me take that, Manta. Yes, we use a lot of tools behind it. There are tools which are open source. There are tools we have developed. There are tools which are priced, and that forms our integrated tool set. You will not be charged for any tools, and you only pay for the service. And the tools are behind it. You can choose, and based on tools you use, you may vary the price. But we are not paying a price for the tool. We are just paying for the services.
Great. And the next question is, what are the different tools you use in delivering the service?
Okay, Manta, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. In fact, we use an array of tools starting right from test design, test data generation, test execution, test management, bug tracking, and test metrics. All our tools are designed in such a way that they are bidirectionally integratable. That is, let's say you already have a few of them and you want to import your data from your tool into our tool, that's fine. We are open. And let's say you have already engaged with our tool and you have implemented your own tool and you want to migrate from the data from this tool once the test execution is done back into your tool. That's also fine. That is also a design. So all our tools are bidirectionally integratable. And coming to the frameworks, we have Unified Interface Framework, which is technology, tool, and operating system, that is environment agnostic. Our Unified Interface Framework it can run the same set of script which you develop in your spreadsheet on multiple different test execution tools like QTP, Selenium, Watir, or any other tool of your choice. So essentially, to answer your question, we have a lot of tools right from test design to test metrics. Both in-house developed, and we support industry standard tools as well.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mamta. So the next question is, what technology stacks can you test? For example, ASP or .NET, Java/J2EE, Oracle EBS, Business Objects, SAP.
As I was speaking earlier, we have the Unified Interface Framework, and all our tools, all our frameworks are designed in such a way that they are technology agnostic as well. For that matter, we can test Oracle e-Business Suite, SAP, .NET, Java, legacy applications, and flex-based applications as well. And sometimes it happens that your application is so complex that it has more than one type of technology integrating. Your business has to integrate with more than one type of technology, and your scripts have to run all those type of technologies. And our application our frameworks do seamlessly run the scripts on all kind of technologies at a single go.
Okay. Just to add to that, whether you have a custom application built on Java or .NET or open source technology, or whether you have packaged applications such as Oracle ERP or SAP, we can test all of them. Our unified framework is technology agnostic and tool agnostic. You can use the same test case across multiple tools as well. So that's how the solution is built.
Okay, great. So the next question is, can I use the product to simulate testing on multiple browsers, i.e. 7, 8, Firefox, Chrome, by authoring the test only once?
Yes. One single answer is yes, of course.
Okay, so the answer to that is yes, that's what you said, Manta?
Yes, definitely yes.
Yeah, so definitely yes. We can do multiple browsers and we can also use your authoring.
Great. Okay, the next question says, please explain the ROI tool.
Okay, so let me quickly talk about that and what I can add. We were mentioning about that you would have a good ROI when you use this tool. You have return, good return on investment. Do we have a tool to do, do you have a mechanism you can calculate the ROI? At this point of time, no. And we hope to bring it in our next question. We don't have an ROI calculator. But if you were to give us we do have a mechanism to create an ROI, so we have to do it case by case basis. So if you tell us all your details, we'll be able to do an ROI calculation and show you what is the ROI on this test, on your testing needs.
Okay, great. The next question is, are there any free trials?
Are there any free trials? That's a good question. I'm just thinking how to answer that. Yes, I would answer it as yes. If you're interested in using our services and if you have a pressing need for it, let us know and we'll be happy to do a POC for you. Because you attended this webinar today, and if you want to take advantage of it, we will do that free. Otherwise, it is generally we do charge for POC because it takes a considerable amount of effort on our side into our delivery organizations as well. But if you're interested, please send us an email, and we will be happy to do a free POC for you.
Great. And then what is the cost of the software and what is the timeline period? I assume the timeline for deployment.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say this is a service. There is no price for a software or a product. We developed this product to offer services. So we offer services, which makes it very, very easy for you to use. And our intention has been ease of use for you. So it's a services-based activity. So and its price, as I said, but based on what you want to do service, like I showed you the pricing metric, it's priced based on the services you want. We could also price this per case. We have some pricing where you can simply test per case. Per test case, you can provide the pricing.
Okay. Next question: do you support cross-browser application?
You want to answer that, Manta?
Yes, Suresh. We do support cross-browser applications as well. And as someone else were asking earlier, you can develop your script for one browser and execute on multiple different browsers in multiple different environments. Multi-browser test execution is supported, absolutely supported.
Great. Okay. Does your service test Oracle ERP? Can you do automation scripting on Oracle ERP? What tools do you use?
Okay. So number one, yes, absolutely, we can test Oracle ERP. And we could do all the services we told so far on Oracle ERP. There's a slight difference in testing Oracle ERP versus testing web application. The Oracle ERP does not lend itself to all different kinds of tools, especially the open source tool. So we will have to use the right tools for it. In our experience, most people who use Oracle ERP do use the tool and do have automation done to some extent. So we tend to leverage the tool they use while we can use our own tool. So more often we use our automation framework, for us to do than the scripting on the fly. But if you are an Oracle ERP, you want to test it, you want just to provide the tool, we can as well do it. And we have tools to do Oracle ERP testing. So sorry for the long answer. So we can test Oracle ERP and we can indeed do all the services we showed so far for Oracle ERP.
Great. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for questions right now, but we'd be happy to answer any more questions if you email us at info@softsol.com. And we hope this presentation has given you a good understanding of STiC. But if you'd like a one-on-one demo or any more information, you can visit us at www.softsol.com, or again, you can email us info@softsol.com. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.